Good morning and welcome to our preview of today's racing at the Vaal, 28th of January. Can't believe it's nearly a month ago that we celebrated Christmas and New Year, and here we are already at the end of the first month of 2020. Be it so may. And I just want to remind you to if you want to follow me in terms of receiving notices when my videos are posted for the preview of the day's racing, please press the subscribe button and ring the bell, and then you'll get a notification every time that I've uploaded the video for today's racing. So let's look at the racing today. As per normal, I don't do selections for the first for 2-year-old juveniles. So the first two races are both juvenile races, so there you have to follow the betting, but any sensible punter would maybe not punt races, because these 2-year-olds, they improve, and you might, you don't know about it, so it's difficult to make a selection in those races. I do notice that Alden Meyer is in town, riding for his dad. I will tell her which horse I think that he's here for today, but yeah, he's got some 1 or 2 decent rides. So we look at the first race, and here my first selection is number 1, Moggy Brown. This is also my daily, it's also my value bet. Moggy Brown, is a 5-year-old mare. She's had a couple of races, but she had some 4 wins. She has had 4 wins, and on this specific course, the distance 2 runs, 1 win. She's there, always thereabouts, and she's now running in a little bit lower class than her last few races. So I believe that she will go close, 4 runs back. She beat Claire Morris. Claire Morris has come out since to flank that form, although she ran behind Claire Morris, but that was in a higher division. Then my other selections, my outsider selections for this race is number 3, and that is, so let's see, we need to scroll down, Nymeria. Now, Nymeria in this likes this course and distance, although her form is not that good. I'm sorry, I do have a problem because I try to scroll up and down, but sometimes this computer doesn't want to work with me. So I'm trying to get to the form of Nymeria, but yeah, I'm having difficulties in getting that. Come on. Alright, here we are. Nymeria has had course and distance 3 runs, 2 wins. And although her last few runs wasn't encouraging, also note that she has run here and there in a higher class, but she's always there and thereabouts. So definitely a horse to include in your calculations. Then my other outsider selection is number 10. And number 10 is Philomena, Barenburger stable. This horse has also been running there and thereabouts, coming from Kenilworth about 4 runs back. She did run behind, although a couple of lengths behind Mississippi Burning won a grade 1 the other day. She's run behind here at the Trumpets, and last time out also in the race against Claire Morris. So the nice outsider to include. The favorite here is number 11, Philadelphia, and number 4, Wings of Honor. Philadelphia is 3-1, Wings of Honor is 92. I also did include number 12, Miss Boomerang, in my play, in my quartets. I do see that Cornet Spies has now taken over the horses of his father. So I think Tubi has relinquished his license. I'm not sure, but I see Cornet is now training all the horses where when Cornet got his license, he was training horses and his father was still training. But it seems to me that Cornet has now taken over all the training, including his dad's. So let's move on to race number 4. Race number 4 is where I've also got a nice value bet for you. That is number 4, 008. Now 008 ran against very strong fields in his previous races. Mr. Flood, twice behind Mr. Flood, 6 lengths behind and 7.3 lengths behind. But now today he's very much down in class. I mean, those were 107 and 109 average class is now down to the class here is like 91, average 91. And he did ran close to American Hustle, 3 runs back. And I think this horse will go close today. It is 14 to 1 in a betting and a nice outsider. Then my other outsiders in this race is number 1, really has run against some decent horses in his lifetime. He's coming off a rest. He is getting -2.5. A horse that you have to include in your play because he can surprise at any time. Then I've also included number 5, State Trooper, because he ran close to 008 last time. And so they can renew their rivalry again. Okay. There was also a race in American Hustle, but it was 2.75 behind, whereby 008 was only half a length behind. The other inclusion that you should look at, and I did include in my quartets, Life is Good. Life is Good has run some decent races, and yeah, has got some decent form against stronger opposition. A while ago she ran in 102 and behind over, so definitely a horse to include. We then move on to race number 5. I just want to say about today's racing, you know, today's racing looks difficult for me today. I couldn't find any real banker. If you can find a banker, then please let me know, because I couldn't find any bankers for today. So the fields are large and a lot of horses has got chances. In race 5, my first selection is number 3, Crown Garden. Now if you look at Crown Garden's form, Crown Garden ran, this is now, this class here is like class, it's like class D, 73 average. Now, in September last year, Crown Garden's merit rating was 100. His merit rating now is 80, so he's come down 10 pounds in his merit rating. He's been coming down all the time. He's run against some really good horses, Sinful Rafa, True to Life, you know, so, and he's coming down. Last time out, the merit rating was at 84, he's now at 80. And I think this horse today is ready to go close in this race. And on a 10 to 1, you can't get hurt. So that is my selection in number 5. Then another outsider selection in this race is number 5, which is Friend of Time. Also, this horse doesn't have inspiring form, but he came off a race last time from July, okay, but before that he's been dealing thereabouts behind Big Blue, Marble, Monopolize. I saw that Monopolize went to Mauritius and actually he died there, shame. And this horse is actually quite well bred, and I know this breeding, and I expect this horse to run a much better race today, a second run after the race. So keep an eye on that, because if that horse comes into quartets and so on, you're going to stand in a paddock queue laughing. So go, you know, don't leave that one out. And also my other selection in this race, outsider selection, was number 10, Irrevocable Dream. Now, Irrevocable Dream on this course and distance is 1 from 1. On the distance itself, it's three runs to 1 win, one place. So Michael van Rensburg is riding it, and he beat a horse called Pigeon Rock. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Pigeon Rock has won in quite a few races. And if you look at this, you know, winners, And in most of his races, horses came out and won again. So that means he is running against decent fields. And I'm thinking with Van Rensburg on today, Marco Van Rensburg on today, this horse is definitely going to run much better. Last time, his last few runs was over longer distances, 1450 and then 1600 and 1400 meters. But back to the shorter distance, I think this horse will definitely be in the play today. Number 11, Alex the Great, Magner and Kennedy, include that into your quartets as well. That can, it has got upset potential. Then we move on to race number 6. Race number 6 is over 1600 meters. Well, here we have Dan the Lad, and if this was over a 1400 meter, I would have had no hesitation in picking Dan the Lad. But if you look at the history, he's run 7 times over this distance for 1/3, and that is that. So if this was a 1400 meters, Dan the Lad would have been my first selection. But so in race 6, my first selection, and this is also might laugh at me, and after the race you can have a good chuckle, but I'm telling you my best bet for the day is number 4, Valentino. Valentino is a 3-year-old with the Cornet stable. He's only had 4 runs. He won his second last run really easily, never in doubt, they say, over 1200. Then last time out in a 1400 meters, the average rating of those horses were 96, whereby today the average rating in this race is 81. He ran against Ikagi, a horse that I think has won 3 out of 4 something, and they really already saying that this is a champion because that horse won like I think 3 lengths in that future. Now today he's back in a handicap, carrying 57, well drawn, 92. I think 92 is a very good price for the best bet. Maybe you want to take take wins and then just cover yourself on the places. But to my mind, this is the closest thing to a banker or a best bet for the day. In my pick 6, I've only included number 4 and number 5 because I think number 5 can give him a bit of a race. But if you look at it and see that Marshall Fox have been running against ability ratings of 77, 71, 59, 66, whereby Valentino comes from an ability rating against a field where the average ability rating was 96. Really, it's a big difference in class. So today for me, number 4, Valentino, is the closest thing to a banker. Then we move on to the next race, the 7th race. The 7th race is also a very difficult race where they're betting 11 to the field. But here my first selection is number 3, and that is Tahitian Urana. Now, I said to you when I started this interview that I think Aldi de Meyer is in town. This horse is business. This horse has run relatively well. Has won his maiden 3 lengths back at 7 runs, and it's often placed I don't think it's been ever unplaced. Let me just put it down again here. Yes, it's had 7 runs, 1 win. It's been placed in his first 2 races. He wasn't placed, and thereafter he was also placed. So this horse is definitely on the up. And another thing about his horse, he often finishes second fastest 400, third fastest 400, fourth back gamely, so I think now currently at 11 to 2, this might be a good idea to take all to come with Valentino, and this horse number 3, Tahitian Urana, because I think this is the business that Aldi de Meyer is in town for. I did notice in the, I think it was in the one of the baby races, he's also riding a first timer for his dad, or it's not even a first timer. Yeah, sorry. And in the first race, number 11, he is riding for his stepmother, his dad. A horse that finished second. So that might be also to take. Maybe you should take a patent, race 1, number 11, onto race 6, number 4 onto race 7, number 3. That might be a very good, that might be a good patent. Right, so, and then also a horse that you need to look out for in race 7 is number 4, Plumfield. This horse has got, always comes from behind. I always watch his races, and this horse really gets going late on, so, but he's currently, I think he's 6-1. Plumfield is, yeah, it's 6-1. Maybe a small each way or just places, but then do include it in your play. And then also number 5, Elegantia, same problem as number 4. Always come from behind, ran on slow into stride, you know. So, but I also think this horse will be there and thereabouts. Then we get to the last race, and here my first selection is number 1, Ideal Day. I'm selecting the lady, Candice Dawson and Warren Kennedy, who had a good day on Saturday. There is another horse in the race which is a favorite, who's got nearly the same name, and that's number 11. Number 11 is Ideal Wolf, and number 1 is Ideal Day. But I do select number 1 because sometimes when you like this number 11, Ideal Wolf, he finished very well in his first race. But as I said before in my previews, that I'm always with a horse in his first race, and then again, because sometimes they don't reproduce that same run. So in this case, I'm going for number 1. But then also horses that you can look at, that you can include into your play. Number 3, Doc Holiday, Jetcat, Crazy Charlie. And also maybe look at Sean Terry's horse number 2, Mount Everest, and then another horse there with Afrikaans name, 12 Up. Now definitely include Crazy Pup in your selections because as another speed horse, and sometimes they improve. This horse had the second last run was a decent run, and then last time out wasn't that well, but as I said before, nice piece. You never know what the horse is going to do, so do include that in your play. So that brings us to the end of today's this review. I hope it will be profitable for you. Enjoy your day and break a leg.